Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramlin, and with me from the Delhi studio is Aishwarya Anand. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Revenue-based financing platform Club announces the final close of its 200 crore rupee maiden fund Accelerate. The first close was announced in December 2021. Club will accelerate disbursement across growth stage businesses during the festive season from the fund. It has already deployed nearly 30% of its corpus.
Hyperlocal logistics startup Shadowfax in talks to raise $75 to $100 million in a mix of primary and secondary capital, as per a report. A91 Partners is in discussions to finance the primary part. The deal is currently in the due diligence stage. The report added, 8 Road Ventures is expected to sell part of its stake in the secondary share sale.
Health Ledger Diagnostics, a preventive healthcare diagnostic company, raises an undisclosed capital and seed round led by several VCs and angel investors. With this fundraise, the brand aims to target a 7x growth with more than 150 operational centers in 15 states across 50 cities by FY23.
Amazon India launches its largest sortation center in Gujarat ahead of the upcoming festival season. The 1.25 lakh square feet sortation center will sort and connect customer packages to the delivery stations of Ahmedabad and other cities in Gujarat. The expansion will also support more than 1.5 lakh sellers in the state and will facilitate faster deliveries during the festive season.
China-focused Welkin expects to raise up to $300 million through an IPO and list on the London Stock Exchange. Says Reuters, the investment vehicle would be the first London-listed fund dedicated to investing in unquoted Chinese companies.
Parler, a social media app popular with US conservatives, is returning to the Google's App Store more than 1.5 years after the Alphabet-owned company removed it from following the US Capitol riots in January 2021, a Reuters report said. The app is now being reinstated after it undertook a series of measures to moderate content on the platform, including features to block abusive users and remove content that could incite violence, a Google spokesperson said. Those were the headlines we were tracking for you this evening. First up, there is still no decision on the GST slab for online gaming, casinos and horse racing. The group of ministers deciding on the rates met today. The GOM will seek legal opinion on the applicable rate and valuation base and submit the report in the next 7 to 10 days. Sources say that the panel feels that the three games are different in nature and the GOM is open to the view of levying different rates and considering different valuation mechanism for all the three if required.
Talking of three different games.
Yes.
All games are not the same. And this GOM is being asked to look into three separate games which function in three very, very different ways. The gross gaming revenue is something that is applicable in, say, a casino, and the methodology on where and how it should be collected are areas which we are looking at. The GOM is going to submit the report to the council. So ultimately, it is a council that's going to take the decision. These are just recommendations, suggestions which will be given.
So when is the next GOM meeting likely?
We are hopeful that within the next 1 week to 10 days, we should be able to close this.
Moving on, fintech startup Tortoise has received an undisclosed sum of money from the co-founders of Swiggy and Zest Money. The Save Now, Buy Later startup had earlier raised $2.3 million in a seed round from Vertex Ventures. Joining us now to discuss this fundraise and the growth outlook is Nikhil Joy, the co-founder of Tortoise. Nikhil, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. You're a Save Now, Buy Later app and work B2B, B2C. Take us through your offerings. How do you help consumers save and help brands increase their sales?
Thank you. So what Tortoise actually does is we're trying to dip into an inherent habit that most Indians have, which is to save money. Right. So what we're doing is we're trying to bring efficiencies into the way customers save money, because most of the savings, or at least a portion of the savings that us Indians make, are earmarked for consumption. So by connecting the brands that customers aspire to shop at and connecting the customers directly with their savings, we're hoping to unlock rewards and benefits on either sides, right? So that's what we're doing here at Tortoise.
All right. So what's interesting is that you've raised money from the founders of Swiggy and Zest Money as an extension of your seed round. Can you tell us how much you've raised and what were the conversations you had with the investors? How are they going to help you in the next leg of growth?
That is correct. So till date, we've raised about close to $3 million.
Okay.
And with Harsha as well as Swiggy, it was a no-brainer for us because both of them in their own right are leaders in their respective areas. And having access to such leaders who have built and scaled companies is immensely valuable to us at Tortoise as we try to establish a new concept and then try to scale it to the degree that Swiggy and Zest Money have scaled to.
All right. So you are well funded, like you've mentioned. Now, how do you plan to use these funds? What's the fund allocation plan?
So at this point, the plan is to scale the product. So we're focusing on two categories to start with, while the scope of the offering can serve multiple categories. We're focusing on electronics and travel as the first segments that we're trying to serve. These in itself are large industries, right? About $70 billion worth each.
Sure.
So our offerings are going to be geared around creating savings plans for purchasing large ticket electronics items,
right,
or for funding your next travel destination. Right? So that is where we're going to be investing these.
So a lot of the money
going
into electronics and travel. So what's the kind of traction that you've already seen for the products that are available, and which are your top markets?
So the beauty about Tortoise is that it can be used by all demographics.
Right.
There's absolutely no restriction in terms of which customer, what age group can use the product. We're currently serving the Indian market, and the initial response has been extremely positive. We in fact ran a very successful campaign with collaborating with one of Apple's premium resellers for the launch of the upcoming iPhone, so which is expected to be announced in a couple of days. And the response has been tremendous. So we expect to continue on the back of this traction and focus on other high-value electronics as well, and expand our reach within travel as well with the holiday season and the bookings for next summer expected to kickstart in the O&D quarter.
Absolutely. And what about revenues? What's the current revenue picture? What are the targets that you've set for yourself going forward?
So the focus, the good thing about our business model is that we make money on day one. The focus, however, at this point is to establish the concept, because although savings is a familiar concept for Indians, savings in this manner, where the customers are directly saving with the brands of their choice and the products that they aspire to buy, is still a novel concept. So we're focusing our efforts on educating the customers and incentivizing them on adopting this extremely rewarding way of carrying out their savings. So that's where the focus is. And of course, as we progress along this journey, we would be expanding into other categories as well, where the ticket sizes can be much larger than what we see in both in electronics and travel as well.
All right. Now, post the RBI's new guidelines on digital lending, what kinds of changes do you need to bring to your business model?
So fortunately, the guidelines that came out are focused solely on digital lending. So my background and history is in digital lending. So I was the head of product at Zest Money till very recently. So at this point, the regulations that have come out are squarely aimed at lending products. And since we do not come under that ambit, these regulations do not apply to us.
All right. So these regulations don't change anything for you guys. But Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're out of time, but we wish you all the best going forward.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Moving on, India's overall addressable market for laundry services is expected to grow from $11.3 billion to $15 billion by 2025 as per a Redseer report. Now, tapping on this big opportunity, Big Basket co-founder Abhinay Choudhari has launched his new venture, LaundryMate, an organized online laundry service brand with a turnaround time of 24 hours. The firm has launched its business-to-consumer app and operations in Bengaluru with plans to roll out in 30 cities, including small towns, over the next decade. To talk about his new venture and the future roadmap for the startup, I'm now joined by LaundryMate's co-founder and CEO, Abhinay Choudhari. Welcome to the show, Abhinay. Now, you've launched LaundryMate, which is aimed at solving the household laundry chore. Take us through the pain points you're aiming to address with your new venture.
Yeah, so thanks for having me here. So we actually launched the business and the app on Saturday, and the main pain point we're really addressing is the time it takes to kind of manage the entire laundry process, which is a mix of some stuff happening at home and some stuff being outsourced. For a typical household, you would kind of do your washing loads at home. You may use maid, right? So you have to sort the clothes first, then load them, run the cycle, take it out, put it out for drying, then again, collect, then call your neighborhood guy for ironing, and then give it out to him, and then collect it back. So all put together, a typical, a household is spending close to, I would say, an hour or so per day in managing this activity, because pretty much an average household of four, runs at least one load per day. So we are really looking at bringing the convenience, saving this time by making the entire process very frictionless and very, very convenient, as well as very, very affordable, because currently whatever options which are available for outsourcing, they are either unorganized and kind of lack convenience and quality. On other hand, you have brands which are very, very expensive, and hence they are not used for the daily use case, but they're used for special needs. What we are really going after is a daily use case, helping customers save time on a daily basis. And in addition to saving time, we also are going to help customers save water, which is so crucial resource for each one of us, because we're going to recycle almost 40% of the water that gets used in our washing.
So bringing a more organized approach to laundry for consumers. Now take us through the offerings of LaundryMate. You've launched an app and have also built a state-of-the-art facility in Bengaluru. Explain to us, how are you leveraging tech to build your business model?
So we are actually pretty much offering all under what you do as part of laundry, which is wash and fold, which is actually not offered by many current players. We also have wash and iron, dry clean and iron, and just steam iron. So all the four services are offered on our app, and all four have a turnaround time of 24 hours. So if you schedule your pickup, let's say today morning, then it will be processed and delivered back to you the next day morning. So it's a 24-hour turnaround time. Yeah, technology has been leveraged across. So end to end, we have built apps, one for the consumer, second for our delivery operations, so that we are able to do pickups and delivery on time, as well as we can give a complete visibility, in terms of transparency of how the order is moving after pickup to our hubs, then to our processing center, what stage it is in while it is getting processed, and then finally when it gets delivered to the customer. So we have a consumer app both on the Android as well as the iOS platform, and then we have a delivery app which we have built on Android to help our delivery staff do a seamless pickup and delivery. And then also at the processing facility, we call it Central Processing Unit, we have set up a technology to individually track the garments, because that's another one of the pain points, wherein in an organized setup you typically tend to lose your garments because they don't use a very robust tracking mechanism. It's pretty much kind of memory based. So we have processes and technology to be able to track garments, right, and then also track the productivity as well as the quality output of the our employees in the processing facility.
All right, now, according to a Redseer report, the laundry market includes both B2C and B2B categories, wherein B2C is contributing the major share with 88%. So you've started off with the B2C segment. Are you planning to tap both the segments in this future?
Yeah, so we started off with the B2C because that's wherein it's obviously a larger lion's market share, as well as has more pain points for the individual customer, and that's where the real benefit of offering a service like this to the Indian households is what our focus is. But we have set up a large-scale facility, and the whole idea behind setting up such an asset-heavy, large-scale facility is to kind of really bring down the entire cost stack in this space, so that we are able to pass on the lower cost to our customers. And that large setup, asset-heavy, also need to use the volume kind of which you get from B2B. So we would be starting B2B business in due course, wherein we'll be servicing customers in the hospitality space, resorts, hotels, as well as airlines. And going forward, we will also look at corporates, wherein the corporate uniforms and all has to be managed. So idea behind having B2B along with B2C is to set up a very highly scalable and a low cost model, wherein the cost benefit can be passed on to the customers.
All right, now Abhinay, one final question. Tell me, what is the price point you've set for your customers? How is your platform different from other players and mom and pop stores for such services?
So as I highlighted, ours is a 24-hour turnaround time. The current industry standard is actually 2 to 3 days. Secondly, it's an organized home pickup and delivery kind of a model. A lot of mom and pop actually don't have that, and obviously they don't have any apps as such. And then having a very organized tech kind of a platform, we also are very aware of the fact that until unless it is priced right, the consumers won't switch. So it cannot be a very expensive proposition, right? So our pricing is pretty much similar to what the consumers are spending today. So it's a very affordable pricing. And whole idea is that with that pricing not being a barrier, when they kind of try our services and they kind of really experience the convenience and the time saving, as well as the water saving, that's wherein they would kind of switch their habits and kind of start using this on a daily basis.
All right, Abhinay, I'm sorry to cut you short, but we are running completely out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and we wish you the very best of luck with your new venture.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Thank you.